You think you're eating clean, you skip the soda, you buy the gluten-free stuff, and you've swapped regular milk for oat milk because hay-hit comes from a plant, so it must be better, right? Not exactly. See, the grocery store is full of foods that look healthy, but the second you eat them, your blood sugar goes on a roller coaster. And that roller coaster. It's the reason you're constantly hungry, always craving sugar, storing fat around your belly, and struggling with low energy all day long. Let's fix that. Today, we re-breaking down the foods that spike your glucose even. If they have fancy labels like organic, plant-based, or all natural, we're going aisle by aisle, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to buy and what to avoid to flatten your stomach, balance your hormones, and finally get control over your appetite. Let's start with a big one. Oat milk. It's everywhere now, and people swear by it. But here is what most don't realize. Oat milk iced tea, some magical health elixir, basically liquid starch. Even the unsweetened versions cause a glucose spike. Why? Because oats are carbs. When you process them into milk, you strip out the fiber and keep the sugar. Most oat milks have around 16 grams of carbs per cup. That's more than a small banana. And it's not slow digesting carbs, it hits your bloodstream fast. You're better off eating a bowl of cereal. At least then you know what you're in for. Now compare that to almond milk. A good almond milk and sweetened, clean ingredients is just filtered water and almonds. Maybe some salt. No starch. No spike. Same goes for macadamia, coconut, or pistachio milk. These are nut-based. They don't mess with your blood sugar, and they won't leave you crashing 2 hours later. So next time you're grabbing your coffee creamer or milk for your smoothie, skip the oats and go with nuts. Next up, pasta. Brown rice pasta, whole grain pasta, quinoa pasta. Quinoa pasta all sounds better than the regular white stuff, right? But here's the catch. Once you grind a grain into flour, it doesn't really matter if it's white, brown, or ancient Egyptian. Your body doesn't care. It sees starch. Fast carbs. Blood sugar spike. Brown rice pasta, in particular, is one of the most misleading ones. You see brown rice and think it's wholesome. But when it's pulverized and extruded into pasta, then boiled, it's glycemically no different than white rice. Possibly worse. A better option? Lentil pasta, chickpea pasta, even cassava. These alternatives give you more fiber, more protein, and they digest slower. That means less glucose, more stable energy, and less belly fat storage. And here's a tip: don't just swap the pasta. Just think about what you're eating with it. If you're just having plain pasta, it's all carbs. But if you add protein, healthy fat, and maybe some fiber from veggies or a salad beforehand, you create a buffer that slows digestion and flattens the spike. So, if you love pasta, great. Just eat it smarter. Add some shrimp and ghee, sprinkle on some Parmesan, and maybe have a handful of almonds 10 minutes before. That's how you stay full without the crash. Now, let's talk granola. It's marketed as this healthy, energizing breakfast, and sure, it might have quinoa, cacao, and oats. But flip that bag around. Look at the first 5 ingredients. If you see cane sugar, brown rice syrup, or honey, that's dessert. That's not breakfast. And yes, even if it says lightly sweetened, some of these granolas have 15 to 20 grams of sugar per serving. That's more than some ice creams. If you love granola, don't panic. You can still have it, but pair it with protein. To add Greek yogurt, toss in some nuts or a little protein powder. You can even make your own version using toasted seeds, a touch of stevia or monk fruit, and cinnamon. The key here is carbs alone spike glucose, but carbs with protein, fat, or fiber, much better. Speaking of things that should help your glucose but might not, look at apple cider vinegar. Now, a CV does help. A tablespoon in water before meals can blunt a glucose spike. But don't confuse it with those vinegar drinks you see next to the kombucha. You know, the ones ginger, turmeric, honey, apple cider vinegar. Sounds healthy. But guess what's in the second ingredient? Sugar. Some of those bottles have 8 to 12 grams of added sugar. It's like taking your glucose medicine with a spoonful of maple syrup. Doesn't work. If you want the benefits of vinegar, just get real, raw apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon, add it to water before your meal, or drizzle it into a salad dressing. But skip the prebiotic tonics. They're not helping. Now let's get into snacking. Rice cakes, popcorn, skinny snacks. These are all marketed as low-calorie options. But let me ask you this. Since when does low-calorie mean low glucose? Rice cakes are one of the highest glycemic index foods on the planet. Why? Because they're puffed. That process breaks down the starch chains, so your body digests them instantly. Blood sugar goes straight up, and you get hungry again fast. Same goes for popcorn, especially when it's hot and fresh. Even the so-called healthy ones like Skin-A-Pop, it's still corn, puffed processed, minimal fiber, instead of puffed carbs. Try something crunchy with fiber and fat. Seed crackers, flax chips, even some sliced veggies with guac or hummus. That combo will keep your blood sugar steady and your hunger under control. All right, let's talk fruit, specifically bananas. Not all bananas are the same. A yellow spotty banana is mostly sugar. It's easy to digest, tastes sweet, and gives you a fast energy hit. But a green banana? That's a different story. Green bananas are high in resistant starch. Is that the kind of starch your body doesn't? To fully digest it feeds your gut bacteria instead. And that's good. Less glucose spike, better digestion, and better insulin sensitivity over time. So if you're tossing a banana into your smoothie, try a green one. You won't taste the difference once it's blended, and your body will thank you. Let's move on to potatoes. Sweet potatoes are seen as the healthier choice on, yes, they're better than white potatoes slightly. But here's the key. How you cook them matters more. If you eat sweet potatoes hot and fresh, your glucose still spikes. The trick is to let them cool down. Cooling turns some of the starch into resistant starch. That means lower glucose, better gut health, and longer-lasting energy. You can roast them the night before, let them chill, then reheat gently, or eat them cold in a salad. Add olive oil, arugula, and some goat cheese. Tastes amazing, and it keeps your blood sugar in check. All right, sauces. Let's look at marinara. It seems innocent, right? Tomatoes, basil, maybe some garlic. But turn the jar around. You'll usually see tomato puree, tomato concentrate, tomato juice, and then sugar, cane sugar, sometimes high fructose corn syrup. Even without added sugar, concentrated tomato products spike blood sugar more than whole tomatoes, because you've removed the fiber and condensed the sugars. You want tomato sauce? Make it yourself. Canned crushed tomatoes, garlic, onion, olive oil, and herbs. That's it. Or find a jarred version with no added sugars and only whole ingredients. Let's hit one more big category. Fruit snacks. Grapes, raisins, dried mango. These seem healthiest, especially when the packaging says no added sugar. But let's break it down. A cup of grapes has almost 25 grams of sugar. It's pure glucose, hitting your bloodstream fast. Raisins, even worse. Its drying concentrates the sugar and removes the water and fiber. You're basically eating candy. If you love fruit, go with berries, especially wild blueberries or raspberries. They have fiber, antioxidants, and way less sugar. Pair them with Greek yogurt, whipped coconut cream, or just a few almonds. And if you're still craving something sweet, add cinnamon. It helps slow digestion and reduce the glucose response. Let's wrap this up. Every time you eat, you're either helping your blood sugar, you're respiking it and setting yourself up for cravings, crashes, and fat storage. And here's the thing. It's not about cutting all carbs or never having treats. It's about how you eat. Eat your veggies first. Add fat, fiber, and protein to every meal. Cool your carbs when you can. Skip the fake health foods that are just sugar in disguise. And read every label like your results depend on it, because they do. If you've ever felt like your body's working against you, it's not. You've just been eating the wrong way without knowing it. But now you've got the tools. So don't just scroll to the next video, go check your fridge, look at your pantry, flip a few labels over, start making smarter swaps today. And if this helped, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who always falls for the health food marketing. You know the one? And if you want a step-by-step plan, recipes, workouts, grocery lists, to flatten your belly, balance your blood sugar, and burn up to 20 pounds in 6 weeks, head over to gravitytransformation.com or click the link below. See you there.